Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. And today we're looking at these bad boys right here. At least I hope they're bad boys. The other ones were pretty good. They weren't great, but they weren't bad either. And this, my friends, is the Converse. I almost said Nike. Technically not wrong, but these are the Converse All-Star Pro BB Evo.
Oh, like they're evolving?
They're just the All-Star BB Evo. And yes, they are evolving. This is an evolution of the original model that came out last season. And they did a great job at these too. Now, before we get into these guys right here, look at this shirt. Oh my gosh. This is just amazing. Not just the graphic, but look at the application of tie and dye. Yo, this is dope. This is from the Hoopery. They're good friends of ours over here at WearTesters. We support them 110%. And not only that, but they got some new shit coming. Good old Vince, Air Canada. Look at the back though. I love it when they do this, man. I just think it's cool. This one might be like my low-key favorite out of the new bunch. Like I love the Kobe stuff just cause it's dope and everything. But the new kids one, man, whoa, oh, oh, the right stuff. This guy right here is a fucking legend. He's got some marks on his resume or whatever, if you will, only because he's got like a stigma attached to him. Like he can't make it out of the first round. But this dude was a bucket, man. Tracy was amazing.
McGrady?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Look at this. Look at this. This is not a joke. 13 points in 33 seconds. I was watching this game and the only thing that was more jaw-dropping than this was when Reggie did it. He didn't do this specifically, but like, if you know, you know. Reggie was a bucket too. Now, if you wanted to stay with the Mamba theme, they've got these two new lovely tees right here, which are just, I mean, these are awesome. I really like tie-dye. I really like that it's back. Now, my favorite things, because I just prefer wearing these things over all things. They've got these brand new hoodies, man. And this is not a new hoodie. This is just an alternate version of the hoodie. But yeah, this is just dope. Pays homage to Kobe, Gigi, to infinity and beyond. But doesn't end here. The Minneapolis colorway, man. This is so fire. Minneapolis Kobe's are always my favorite. So again, if you're interested in anything from the Hoopery, we're gonna leave links down below. These apparel items are not available yet, but they will be. And on top of that, we're actually holding a giveaway where you can win all the whole package. Everything I just showed for free. All you gotta do is head over to my Instagram page and everything that you need to know is right over there. And with that being said, look at these things, man. These are some Scarface vibes, like for real. You know what the Scarface shoe is?
No.
Do you know what the movie is?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember the poster?
No.
Okay. It looked like this,
okay.
But with Al Pacino on it. The Scarface thing is just popular, especially in the sneaker world. And then there was an Air Force One that was literally split down the middle before the Jordan homage to home, and it was the Scarface shoe. And it was really dope at the time. It was different at the time. When you have a split shoe like this, it's still different. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, a split shoe just hits different. And this guy right here just has those vibes. It's not supposed to like pay direct homage to that. But what this is an indication of is what to expect from this model in the future, because they were telling me we were on a phone call or what was that thing? Zoom? Mm-hmm. So we were on Zoom with one of the members of the design team, the design director. He was saying that this is like gonna be like what you're gonna see colorway wise in the future from this shoe. So you're gonna see a lot of split action. Now this guy right here, like the name states, is an Evo, AKA an evolution of these, which was last year's model, the Pro BB or BB Pro. Whatever the hell they're called. And this was Converse's first reintroduction back into basketball in quite some time. I don't know if they did well, but they did well enough to have a second one, so. Now, what's interesting is that Eric Avar designed these, okay? And Eric Avar, I think, is like an unsung hero in Nike basketball. He's one of the guys that, you know, really made the Kobe line what it is. On top of that, he was a part of the Nike Alpha Project, for those of you old enough to remember what that was. He's designed one of my favorite shoes of all time, the Jordan Jumpman Pro, okay? So this dude, to me, he's like Tinker Part 2. Tinker gets all the shine, but Avar is a beast, man, I'm serious. So yeah, so Avar designed these guys. He didn't really have much of a hand in these, but mainly because they still kind of took everything from this and just moved it over. If it's not broke, don't fix it, is what their whole thing was. This is also a testament to anybody interested in starting a new brand or just starting a brand in general, which revolves heavily around footwear. This is a great way to keep costs down while refreshing the line. A lot of industry people will call this a refresh or whatever, you know what I mean? Like a SE version is what they typically name them nowadays. So like you got the Why Not 03 and then you got the Why Not 03 SE. Right? Same shoe, they just tweak the upper. It looks like a brand new shoe, but it's not a brand new shoe. It plays exactly the same. A lot of people like to fall for that type of marketing and be like, well, there's something different. There's nothing different, dude. It's the same They're just trying to sell you more shoes because that's what they're in the business of, period. But this is a great way to do that without making things stale, because I feel like some of the SEs kind of are a letdown, you know what I mean? The Jordan 34 SE, that's a way to do an SE. I'm surprised that that even made it out. Like, we don't even have any other colorways. That must have been expensive. This is the cheaper way to do it. This is a smarter way to do it. So all the tooling is the same outsole, same internal midsole, which is a reacted drop-in. But the thing that they changed is just tweak the upper a little bit. Not only did they tweak it, but they made things or made changes for the better, in my opinion. So again, like I was saying, the outsole right here, exactly the same. And from what I remember, I just had an issue with the midfoot section, just on like certain plants where the nubs are there, which is great, but they're a little blocky, so they don't allow that brush movement that I like to talk about, where it creates a little bit more friction. So even if you're sliding a little bit, at least the brushes are starting to grip as you move, so you'll eventually go to a stop. When it's like solid nubs like these and they don't have that type of like mobility or pliability within them, sometimes when you like plant hard, like you just wipe out. So I had that a few times in this model. It's what I would expect from this. I asked the design director if they did anything with the rubber compound at all, and he said nope, we kept everything the same. So that's just what it is. Now the cushioning is this guy right here. I like it when they do these. Some people hate these things, which is fine. It's not a big deal, you know what I mean? But I just think it's cool that you can pull the tech right out and then see it, even though it's just foam, but it's still cool. But this is the drop-in midsole. So without this midsole, this is not a shoe anymore. It's a slipper. All you got is rubber. That's it. Without this in there, that is not usable for basketball. You cannot take this and put it in another shoe that already has a midsole because it's got a midsole on it. This is not an insole, it's a midsole. This thing is thick. This is for like everybody that's always like, man, the shoe feels too high or too low or whatever. This is a good example of really where you're sitting in most sneakers. Most sneakers. Not every sneaker, obviously, you're gonna have a variation of height between a couple millimeters up or down, but this is essentially what it is. So we're pretty close to the ground. It's just a weird sensation because this is elevated, it's not natural. I did ask why there's no shank, because that's something that I was wondering with this, because this is very similar. A lot of people are already aware of this, but this is very similar to the Nike Kobe AD NXT 360 Flyknit. Take that. I didn't even practice that.
We could tell.
Could you? You saw the wheels turning? Is that? Like, don't forget any letters.
FF.
Different model. But still impressive. But yeah, so this midsole right here was exactly the same, almost, as what was in that Kobe shoe, also designed by Avar. Okay, see everything's tied together and stuff. The difference though is that the Kobe one had TPU right here, had a little V plate, and it had the shank plate. And these guys do not. I asked why it's not on there, and he said that for the most part, most players just don't need it. This is coming from a footwear design director, not some random person on YouTube like me. This is from his mouth. This is not my opinion, is what he said. But he did say that some of the athletes do need a little bit more, so for that, they were able to tweak them. Most of their athletes, they only have a few right now on Converse, but most of them wear exactly what we're wearing. So if we buy this, they're athletes wearing this. I think that it would benefit from something as far as torsional stability, but I also think that the way that it was designed so wide and you are so low, that it should be okay for most people. But if you were one of those guys that wants extra rigidity, extra stiffness, extra torsional support, no, that's not what she said, okay? I said
You're telling me some guys aren't like, yeah, I want some extra stiffness.
Hey, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not that guy. But if you are, you might want something a little bit different than this. And things just really took a turn. Okay? We're talking about sneakers here, guys.
I guarantee it.
Now, one of the things that they also did not change is the insole lining. And this was one of the things that I did not like in these guys right here. It just really chafed the toe pads. For me personally, I don't know if that was for everybody. It could have also been the fit in connection to, you know what I mean? Like all together. But all I know is that that was like really rubbing my toes raw, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. But the fit on these two things, which is what we're gonna talk about next, is completely different. So these guys right here, I went true to size because that's what they sent me. And this is what I would prefer for a shoe like this, a shoe that is so minimal, you know what I mean? I want it to be as snug as possible. The materials are light, the materials are textile. So this is what I like. However, I will admit that the toe was like really, really tight. And it wasn't even like lengthwise, it was this, the volume. It was just snug. I think it's from this little fuse piece. These guys right here, they feel true to size in a way, but I think that if you liked this fit, then you're gonna want to go down half a size in these, okay? So if you did not like this fit and you're true to size, like if you happen to wear these and you were like, no, they were way too tight, I needed to go up half a size, I think you should go true to size in these guys. So essentially I'm saying that these fit a little bit long. The materials on these guys are a little bit different. Obviously we got the half and half split, and it's not just a visual thing, it's an actual performance thing. things. So the outside is a tight, closed knit textile. It feels like a jacquard, which is essentially what that is. And that area is supposed to be tighter for more containment, more support, and less stretch upon those movements. The inside though is another textile, but it's an open textile. So it's an airy textile. It's very well ventilated. You can actually see it. It's very cool. I've only seen that when it's placed in panels and then covered in other things. I think it's really cool that they literally just like take the two materials, put them together. Originally, I was kind of like, why is there this fuse piece right there to cover the seam when like shoes like the KD13s have a visible seam? And I think it's because that one was just like stitched onto the material itself. And this is, they're literally blending the two materials together. So I thought that was interesting. And there is some plastic or fuse on there. It's just in the bonding areas and the high wear areas and stuff. So very minimal. And then the eyelet area is a little bit different as well. This one was almost traditional, but made out of just all TPU, thin fuse, but just punched out eyelets. This guy they call it magwire, which is I guess the name for this style flywire lacing system that we've been seeing on many Nike and Jordan products lately. What's interesting about this one is that it's like triple layered. So they just looped it, which is cool. And they actually put it through the top and bottom. So it's literally looped around, which is real interesting. And then they stitched the shit out of it. Last but not least, we've got that molded collar right there. It's definitely an eye catcher. The more that I look at, the more I like them, because this guy right here, they definitely tried to go that old school Chuck vibe. And this makes the shoe look a little bit beefier. These are really, really minimal. And these guys right here, while this is not going to provide a ton more ankle support, it's going to give you that proprioceptive feel where it's hugging your Achilles, your ankle area. So you're going to just feel more secure and all that stuff. But essentially they fit exactly the same. Obviously these are the high tops, but the low versions.
FYI, I lied.
About?
I don't know Scarface. I thought it was Godfather. I think I've combined it all together. I don't know.
I mean, the themes are similar, I guess, like mob-wise or something like that, but they're different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's not the same.
But
it's okay.
I just wanted to come clean.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate the honesty. But that pretty much takes care of it. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Again, these are going to be available August 1st for anybody curious. And until next time, guys, have a good one.